Everyone has heard about the Tamagotchi and Digimon virtual pets that Bandai released in the late 90s, but Bandai also released another virtual pet series that had a much shorter lifespan as a franchise. This virtual pet releases are called Magical Witches. These virtual pets resemble a spellbook and come in 4 different versions to signify their colour and element alignment. Akari, which is water, Energe, which is fire, Earthland, which is earth, and Baluluna, which is wind. The goal of this virtual pet is to raise and train a witch, their skills determining what form they evolve to. Similar to the Digimon virtual pets, magical witches connect via prongs, and users can share items as well as curse or cast spells on the other witch. Though you can also cast these spells on your own witch, it's beneficial to have a connection with another of these magical witches, as it determines what evolutions you can get. These different versions also impact what forms your witch can evolve to, as each version represents the different element. Similar to Digimon virtual pets, you can't evolve to the highest form with just one device, and connections are required. Which is a shame because I only own one and they're quite expensive compared to other virtual pets secondhand online. However, you can get to the bad care end, which is the Gen 6 full, but it evolves there straight from Gen 3 and it's basically seen as a dead end or a bad care character. While the Magical Witches series was released in 1998, which was around the same time as Digimon and Tamagotchi, the virtual pet feels a lot more complicated and has more features than the other franchises did at this point. And honestly, I'm starting to think that this could possibly be why it didn't have the same popularity as Digimon or Tamagotchi. It was likely too complicated to catch on. While Digimon and Tamagotchi had a very basic sort of you feed them and you play games within them in order to determine what evolutions you get, the Magical Witch had a lot more functionality compared to these, so because they weren't as simple as the other virtual pets, they may not have caught on as easily as Digimon and Tamagotchi did. So while these virtual pets that also came out at the same time have simple care such as feeding, training, playing games, the Magical Witches adds on to this by having the ability to cast spells using a cauldron and having your witch to go out on a broom to gather resources to use in said cauldron. Only certain combinations and orders will result in something, but even the correct order and combination won't always result in an item. Sometimes the cauldron just explodes and requires you to heal your witch again with the magical herb from the feeding menu. Thankfully, there's a guide on Tamatalk that has all the recipes, because otherwise I'd be honestly lost. I'm not sure how people did this in the late 90s when internet wasn't as readily available. It would have honestly been a struggle, especially if you only just had the one magical witch like I do. Which, again, that could have contributed to the fact that this franchise didn't catch on like the other virtual pets that came out at the same time. This guide has the outcome of each recipe, as well as different types of spells that you can cast and how to get certain connection required characters. The guide also has a Japanese manual attached, which I also appreciated because mine was sold out of the box, so I didn't have this cool piece of manual, I guess. It looks pretty nice. Something also that I appreciate is that once your witch dies or leaves you, you are given a happiness gauge to show how well your witch was looked after. It feels a lot nicer than having your pet die and the only indication of how well you did be the age. It feels like it's adding on a lot more than the other virtual pet at the same time had. Now, while the franchise didn't catch on and develop into a larger franchise in the same way that the other virtual pet series is around the same time, Tamagotchi, Digimon, Gigapets, etc., the world from Magical Witches called Witchenly was also incorporated into the Digimon franchise, and is the world where many magic-using Digimon live, such as Wizardmon, Witchmon, and Medieval Dukemon. Other than this, it often gets mentioned in Digimon lore, and even is being referenced in the currently running Digimon manga, Digimon Dreamers. In terms of my rating as a virtual pet, because I did run this as a virtual pet, wasn't just a trivia jump, I gave it 7 for enjoyment, and this is out of 10, and 4 for ease of use. It's definitely got a lot going on, which makes it a fairly fascinating virtual pet to run, and it feels fairly unique, especially compared to what else came out around that same time, and the other Bandai virtual pets, of course. But the complexity, as I mentioned, may have contributed to the lack of a larger franchise from this, but it is nice to see that Bandai does still remember it and uses it in the other properties, mainly Digimon, and that is nice to see. But it's just sad that, other than collecting old virtual pets online, they're kind of hard to come by, so it is sad that it didn't develop into something else. But in any case, those are my thoughts on the Magical Witches. It's something I've been wanting to cover for a long time. Maybe if I complete the set one day, I'll do a follow-up video with more information that only connecting can get you. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you have any thoughts about Magical Witches, or if you have any questions about the series, about anything that I didn't touch on in this video, let me know in the comments below. Like this video, and make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'm trying to get to 13,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so pretty doubtful, but I'm going to still try my best. And make sure to check out my other videos, because I've covered Digimon Dreamers and I'm translating it into English, so make sure you follow along with that, because it does reference Witchenly. Again, it's great that Bandai still loves it just enough to reference it as sometimes food. In any case, thanks for watching this video, and of course, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!